Hello and welcome everybody to Game 3 of Grubby vs Nerchio from the GIGABYTE Cup. My name is Glitch and I am going to be casting for you today this whole best of 5. As I said, this is going to be Game 3 of the series. In Game 1, Nerchio was able to take a heavy macro win off of Grubby, but in Game 2, Grubby pushed out with a very nice 6-gate with 2 Colossus push that was very strong against Nerchio, was able to take a win in Game 2. So these players are now 1-1 in this series. Game 3 is going to be here on Tal'Darim Altar LE. Now, a little bit about Tal'Darim Altar LE. For those of you guys that don't know, there were a few changes made to this map. I believe this was widened. This used to be a little bit more narrow. You used to be able to wall this off with just a gateway, and a pylon, but now it takes more than that to be able to wall it off. You can still wall it off, but it takes a lot more than it used to, so it's not quite so easy to forge fast expand, but it's still something that's very commonly done on this map nonetheless. Also, this third expansion in much older versions of this map, this expansion here, Protected by Destructible Rocks, used to just be a partial expansion. I'm not sure how many mineral patches and gas. I'm pretty sure it was 1 gas and maybe 5 mineral patches. I don't exactly remember what it was, but now that has been changed, so this is now a full expansion. Now, Tal'Darim Altar is an interesting map. A lot of players talk about the balance. Oh, one other thing that I know that they did also is this little bit of land in older versions of the map. This was not here. This cliff walk area where you could get to this base down here from the main expansion, or from the main of this base right here. This did not used to be here. This used to actually be area that was not passable. I think it was just a big giant hole like that. But yeah, now they have added that in as well. But that was done quite a while ago. It was a very old version of the map that did not have that little bit of cliff walking terrain there. Now, it looks like Grubby's going to be going for the very fast Nexus here on this map, just because it's such a huge wide expansion, or such a huge wide map, rather. It's very easy to take an expansion because there's not a whole lot of chances your opponent is going to scout you immediately, but of course, just as I say that, the very first place Nerchio sent his Overlord to scout, he's going to be able to scout that Grubby went for this very fast Nexus, going to be able to see the progress on that Nexus, and from that he's going to be able to know that his opponent actually built this Nexus before Forge, and so this is going to be a much delayed Forge fast expansion here, but this Nexus is going to be up much more faster, and that means Nerchio is going to have a little bit of time to take a quick third if he does want to do that. That is an option that Zergs have. Once they see this fast Nexus go down, there's really not a whole lot your opponent can do. As you can see, this gateway still takes another 65 seconds to get out, to get more zealots out on the field, to get a force that's actually worth actually sending out to try to attack your opponent. Takes a very long time for Protoss once they get this Nexus up. So Zerg, if they really want to, they do have time to take a very fast third expansion. But as you can see, Nerchio went for that very fast spawning pool build, as he's now been able to send a bunch of Zerglings, and that is not a perfect wall off here, as now these Zerglings are able to get into the natural expansion, going to start to harass this Nexus, and as they now move into the main expansion, going to try to get a few probe kills as well. In the meantime, Nerchio did take his hatchery there. No gas yet being mined here for Nerchio. Looks like he's focusing strictly on the micro here and trying to get as many worker kills as he can. He's actually doing a nice job of microing these Zerglings, getting a couple of probe kills there for just a couple of Zergling kills there. So definitely a good trade there. And he's now coming back in. Looks like he's gonna be able to pick off 1, maybe 2 more probes. There we go. Looks like doesn't quite get that other probe. That other probe is so low. It is 2 hits away from dying from a Zergling. But it looks like Grubby's being very careful about how he controls those probes now, and he's going to be able to not quite lose that one. As you can see, it's recharged all of its shields now. It's going to take quite a bit more than just 2 hits to be able to deal with that, and now probes just being pulled off the line to deal with these Zerglings. Grubby is tired of dealing with those Zerglings. There's actually 1 Zealot out as well. It's going to be able to deny those Zerglings from dealing too much more damage. They can't even get out of that base if they wanted to right now. And in the meantime, these gateways continuing to be chrono boosted. No cybernetics core going down yet for Grubby, so very interesting here from Grubby. I think he was anticipating a lot more early pressure, so he threw down a couple of gateways, and he's going to start to get out a lot of Zealots. But Nerchio, he's kind of going for a mix right now. He's getting out a few Zerglings, but he's still getting out a lot of drones as well. Just now throwing down 2 gas geysers as well, and there's that third expansion going down very fast. He's feeling very comfortable, seeing as he denied a lot of mining time, got a few worker kills here as well, so he's going to be feeling pretty good here. And oh yeah, he's still got a Zergling wandering around in the main expansion here of Grubby, and so he's going to be pretty happy about that, as he's going to be scouting for quite a little while here, and Grubby just now taking a second gas as well. Still no cybernetics core. There it is. It is just now coming up, so we're going to be seeing that warp gate research, I'm sure, coming along here very soon. Come on, Grubby. There you go. There's that warp gate research now coming down for Grubby, and he's now going to be sending in these 2 zealots to try to deny this 3rd base from going down. There's a spine going down, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late, and now Nerchio is going to have to produce some Zerglings here to be able to deal with it. But the question is, will he be able to get those Zerglings down to that base in time? This is, of course, a hard base to get to. As you can see, he's got to send his Zerglings all the way around this entire path, come down here, and then cut up through here. And it looks like that spine crawler does finally go down, but these zealots are kind of a little bit confused here for Grubby. He doesn't really know what he wants to do. Going to try to focus some of these probes, but as we can see, the Zerglings are now coming down across the map. Going to be able to deny those zealots from dealing too much more damage there. And I don't think they managed to get any worker kills at all. It looks like they might have gotten 1 worker kill in there. He lost 1 probe earlier on, so I think he's going to be able to... Oh, maybe he is going to be able to pick off another probe. Nope, not quite. Oh, he did actually get that 1 probe. Nice. Nice job there by Grubby. I don't know if that was the best trade there. 2 zealots for 2 probes. Definitely not the best trade-off that Grubby could have gone for there. But he forced his opponent to defend his base a little bit, maybe overproduce some Zerglings there, but Nerchio, definitely not wanting to have a bunch of idle Zerglings, is now going to be sending those Zerglings to his opponent's base to try to do some harassment here. And I'm actually kind of curious to know about what Grubby's 3rd timing is going to be, just because, I mean, as we saw previously, Grubby likes to sit on 2 bases for a really long time. He actually really likes sitting on 2 bases, getting up a good-sized army, and then attacking as he takes a 3rd. And as you can see, it looks like he's going to be going for a similar style again, as he's now throwing down a robotics facility, and he's got a lot of gateways coming up as well. So it looks like it's currently 5 gateways, and that warp gate research is done, but still hasn't warped all of these gateways into warp gates yet. Let's check out the harvester count right now, as we can see that Nerchio is currently up 54 to 48 harvesters right now, getting that 3rd expansion pretty well saturated. He's pretty well saturated at his natural expansion as well, just now throwing down gas though, and Lair Tech is now on the way. Evolution Chamber is up, just starting that +1 ground carapace as well. Roachborn coming up right now for Nerchio. I think something I've seen a lot of Nerchio is a Roach-Ling mixture. He definitely likes Roach-Ling against Protoss armies, and here we go, a very similar build from last time. Looks like Grubby's now going to be sending out all of these Sentry Zealot mixes to try to be able to deal with this nice force field going down. I don't think those were the best force fields in the world, but they definitely protected those sentries for a little while here, and there we go. Now more Zealots being warped in there onto the low ground. Oh, but so many sentries are being lost right now, and definitely not a good place for Grubby to be. Grubby doesn't want to lose too many sentries. Those sentries are very, very expensive in gas, and you don't want to lose too many of them this early on in the game, just because sentries continue to get better. If you think about it, sentries get better and better with time, since they continue to just get more and more energy. Especially the longer you keep him alive, the more force fields you get off, the more worth it your sentries are. And now Grubby's going to be trying to get aggressive here. He's got 1 probe here, going to be warping in units to this pylon here. Does he have anything coming out of the robotics facility? No, not quite yet. He's got an observer out. I like that play, just because once roaches are out on the field, Roach Burrow can basically thwart any big early Protoss attack if you don't get any kind of observer to be able to detect for you. But as you can see, there we go. Now we do have Colossi on the way here for Grubby. We do also have +1 ground armor coming up here, and beautiful force fields going down at the bottom of the ramp here for Grubby. Probably could have trapped a few more roaches up there, but now these roaches are just going to be moving around, going to try to move in, and woo, actually Grubby taking a secret 3rd down there at an unexpected location. Nerchio is actually going to be poking in here, and he's going to be happy to see that there is no 3rd yet down for Grubby. He's going to say, you know what? I can contain Grubby to 2 bases right now, and he's not going to know that there's actually a 3rd down here right now for Grubby. And now all the roaches are now moving in here. Going to start to focus down these units. There's a Colossus here, but it does not yet have the extended thermal lance, but it's not getting focused down anyway, so it barely matters. That Colossus is starting to deal a lot of damage to these roaches. So much damage being dealt. Beautiful force fields going down, and I think Grubby's actually going to be able to hold off that attack. Beautiful play there by Grubby, completely thwarting that attack from Nerchio. He really just smashed that attack. That 1 Colossus really, really was a boss Colossus in that fight. That was absolutely the winner of that fight. So, so good. In the meantime, Grubby, beautiful observer placement right now, right outside the the natural expansion of Nerchio. We do see a Spire now coming down. He wants to get up some of those Corruptors, most likely, to be able to deal with these Colossi as he takes a 4th expansion here. The rocks have been taken down there. Looks like he's going to be up very soon on 4 bases, and Grubby getting pretty well saturated there at his 3rd, actually. I really like this play. And what just happened up here? Hold on, hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back and see what exactly happened there, because somehow, some way, some units got into the back of the base here that just got killed. Or am I completely out of my mind? There was a bit of a Zergling run by there. Looks like it didn't do too much damage there, as those probes were just pulled off the line, and most of those Zerglings were taken care of without too much of a fuss there. Sorry, I missed that the first time, guys. But Grubby, in the meantime, continuing to get up that Colossus count. Looks like he's finally starting to look like he wants to get aggressive here. He's got a couple of Colossi currently out on the field. More are on the way, but there's a large Roach number here from Nerchio now coming across the field. Beautiful force fields going down. Well, again, he could have trapped more Roaches in those force fields, but he didn't lose too much in that exchange, and he got a few free Roaches and Zergling kills, so he really can't complain too much about that. But Nerchio right now is getting up to 4 bases, and this is starting to look very scary for Grubby. And ooh, beautiful surround here by Nerchio as he manages to get a beautiful concave there. Starts to pick off those Colossi, but those Colossi just pull back. They now have that extended thermal lance dealing so much damage from so far away. Beautiful pullback there by Grubby. Absolutely what he needed to do. Now, we do have Corruptors now on the way from Nerchio. As we can see, there are currently 2 out on the field, 5 more on the way. Lots of Zerglings being produced here. The Roach count is very high. These Roaches are currently 0-1 in upgrades. And ooh, lots of Zealots here getting in position to be able to come in and deal some damage here, but Nerchio, I think, did manage to spot it. All these forces now moving in as the main army of Grubby moves into the to put some pressure onto the natural expansion here, but the Corruptor count is rather high, and the Stalker count is not really that high to be able to deal with these Corruptors. These Stalkers need to be focusing down these Roaches, and that's exactly what they're doing. Oh, those Corruptors are dealing so much damage to those Colossi. 2 Colossi falling to those Corruptors, and now that Grubby is being forced to pull back. The Zealots have been completely taken out, though. That pylon is still down there, but now Nerchio pushing forward with a huge push of Roaches. The last Colossi gets taken out, and now it looks like Nerchio is going to look to get very aggressive here. There is one Immortal. Looks like Grubby is now transitioning into Immortal tech. Those are going to be very good against these Roaches, but is it going to be enough? Nerchio is still not aware of this 3rd expansion here. Doesn't know that this 3rd base is up. Grubby throwing down some cannons there just to be safe anyway, but we now have Nerchio just in full macro mode right now, as he is now getting that hive tech up. Those Roaches have that Roach speed, and here we go. Here comes a big engagement from Nerchio as he manages to pull in all of his forces, gets a beautiful surround on all the forces of Grubby, starts to focus everything, trapping all the units outside the base, and Grubby losing so many units, even have that corruption ability going down on all the Stalkers, and now the Roach is taking out all the production structures of Grubby, getting into the natural expansion, and I don't think Grubby is going to be able to hold this many units. 28 Zerglings are on the way, constantly going to be streaming into Grubby's base, and Grubby is in a lot of trouble trying to chrono boost out this Colossus, but I think it's going to come out just in time to be able to be taken down by those Corruptors. One Void Ray even out now on the field here for Grubby as well, but that's going to be taken down so fast to these Corruptors, and the Colossus instantly falling to the forces of Nerchio, and Nerchio now in full boss mode, full macro mode, sending tons and tons of Zerglings into his opponent's base, and Grubby GG's out of Game 3. That means Nerchio has taken Game 3 and is currently 2-1 in this series. If he is able to take the next game, Nerchio will be winning this best of 5 and be winning the Gigabyte tournament for this week. So don't go anywhere.